This meeting is being recorded.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the MDR Extra Virgin Olive Oil Library, live with one of our champion producers. I'm so happy to be here again today. We've done 4 of these so far this year, and I'm really excited to bring back one of my more special brand champions today, who happens to be in Italy, which really is kind of the epicenter of extra virgin olive oil. It could be said, it could be Spain or Greece, but really the groves in Italy, the old groves and the old trees, it's really what beautiful extra virgin olive oil is. While every country has beautiful oils, Italy will always have a special place in my heart. I'm David Newman. I'm known as Evo Guy, extra virgin olive oil guy. I've been with this Mediterranean Diet Roundtable for 2 years now, which is the brainchild of Daniela Puglielli. It's a think tank where we get together producers, influencers, hospitality, media, and talk about the Mediterranean diet, of which extra virgin olive oil is a foundational product, as we know. I have published a book this year called Extra Virgin Olive Oil, The Truth in Your Kitchen, which has done very well. I think I've sold over 10,000 copies so far since June. And I'm excited to have this book out in the market. And our guest today is one of the recommended brands in my book. You can find this on my website, evoguy.com, or on Amazon or Barnes & Noble as an ebook, an audiobook, or a print copy. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce, as I said, a recommended brand in my book, Il Vulcino, and the co-founder, and maybe the president and the chief olive picker, Eugenie Kunst, live from Italy and her estate today. And thank you for being with us for the 2nd year, Eugenie. We so appreciate your support.
Well, thank you, David.
I want to start off by showing her beautiful new bottles. Last year, she promised me new bottles were coming and her certification of organic was coming. And I'm happy to report these are her 2 main products, which we're going to talk about and taste, both certified organic, both from her region, which, if you can correct me, is in north of Lazio. It's in Lazio, correct?
Northern Lazio, yes.
And Vulcino is the region or the city.
Oh my goodness.
That's okay.
Sorry. It's not a disaster. We're near Vulci National Park, which is an Etruscan park with all the Etruscan ruins. As a matter of fact, this olive variety already grew there 3,000 years ago spontaneously. And we know that because we see them depicted on the walls of Etruscan tombs and on the vases that they make. And it only grows in this area. It's a very special olive oil variety.
And that's the Principe. That means it's the monocultivar of the terroir from your region.
Wait, Principe is a blend.
The blend, sorry. Secula is the...
Secula, which comes from Latin, which means secular, as in more than 100 years old or 100 years old. Secula is the monocultivar, which is very, very robust.
Yes.
And some people find it too robust.
No.
And so we also mellowed it a little bit with Principe. We put some Frantoio variety in it, which makes it softer, mellower.
So you would say the Secula is robust and the Principe is more of a medium or high medium fruity?
High medium, I would say. High medium. They're both robust oils.
And there certainly is a time for having that intensity, as I've talked about endlessly, and it's in my book, that you don't have to be a fan of intense extra virgin olive oil, but there is a time when you need it with stronger flavored foods, pairing with food or where you require a little bit more fruitiness or bitterness. That has to be intense, because if you have a medium, there may not be enough flavor or intensity to meet the demands of the way you're using it. And that's the #1 mistake that people don't understand about extra virgin olive oil. I think one bottle will serve all their needs, and just isn't the case. Now, I noticed also that you sent me the little, this is a 100 ml bottle.
Yeah, we also
Is this more for trial, or do these also sell?
No, they also sell, for example, in restaurants, they like to have smaller bottles on the table, principally to restaurants. But
Yeah.
yeah,
This is an amazing product, and we're going to taste it here in a minute. But I wanted to make sure people remember that, you know, you are a professional musician, and music has always been at the heart of you.
always. And the reason I'm in Italy is because I came here to play. Before I grew up, I was born in Holland actually, and I grew up in the United States, where really the olive oil that we did have standing on our kitchen shelf was invariably rancid. I'm talking about England, Holland, the United States, which is basically where I grew up. And I thought olive oil was not, I thought it was really disgusting, actually. It was.
Yeah.
It was. Then I came to Italy to play, and I discovered the wonders of freshly pressed, real good olive oil, and I completely fell in love with it.
And that music and bringing the music to the trees is something that is uniquely you. And one of the important points that I think that the people watching today won't understand, I may not ever understand, that you have induced music not just into the field, the groves with the trees, but also into the cellars where the oil is stored.
Yes. Okay, it's true. I'm a musician. My head is a musician. I read a book by a Japanese scientist called Masaru Emoto, who studied the effects on water and other substances of beautiful music and also beautiful words. And then he photographed the crystals of the water, and they became really, really beautiful after Mozart and after words like love and gratitude. It's because of the frequencies of the thought and of the music. Whereas when he put words like hate and ugly music, the crystals would become really ugly.
Really,
Okay.
really.
It's quite an amazing book, and I decided to apply it to my olive oil. And so this year we put speakers in our olive grove, and we also have the music in our cellars. And I don't know yet the outcome, but the frequencies of Mozart, especially, and Bach influence the olive oil, and well, I'll tell you next year the outcome.
I mean, they were in this bottles, right? The harvest of the last harvest of 21. They were exposed to music during that harvest. No.
No, it's early yet.
Oh,
no,
okay. So the next coming harvest.
Yeah, we've already started harvesting.
Yeah.
I also put a QR code on each of our bottles. I don't know if yours have it yet.
No, I think mine, because they say not for sale, so they may have been an early, like you sent me an early edition, I think.
Exactly. And if you scan that QR code, you can listen to the beautiful music that our olive trees are listening to.
Oh, that's so smart. I'll tell you, you know, this oil is a year old because it was last harvest, and as you said, you're just starting the new harvest.
Yeah.
This oil, this secula, is spectacular. It is so refined. It is so pleasant in the mouth. I mean, of course, it has the herbaceous notes. It's very green. It's very grassy and peppery, but it's not assaulting me. So I took it in my mouth. I felt the bitterness. I experienced the fruitiness. And people don't know that you don't taste pungency, but you feel pungency. So you're using three senses: smell, taste, and feel. And I feel the pungency, but it's not where I'm coughing. It's not where I'm, you know, like maybe like a Cortina from Southern Italy, which is like It's just too much. It's just too much. This is extremely usable for your robust oil. And it is a robust, but it's a usable robust, meaning it's balanced.
Thank you, David.
And, I think what people don't understand about tasting olive oil is there isn't another fat that I think you could put directly in your mouth, and correct me if I'm wrong, that is actually enjoyable if it's done correctly. And I'm talking canola oil, sesame oil, grapeseed oil, butter, ghee. If you put any of these fats in your mouth, you probably will choke to death. But excellent olive oil, like what you make here, not only goes well with food, of course, and breads and salads, but just on its own, just if you want to have a sip of olive oil every day for your health, for your mental well-being, whatever it is, it's the only fat that you can put in your body, like what I'm doing now, sipping it and tasting it and swallowing it, that is actually enjoyable and beneficial.
Yeah.
And now let's today. And it is softer. It is a medium. For me, the Secula at this point now is like a 5 to 6. So it's a low robust, and it may just be because it's a year old, it's softening. The Bay is about a 4.5, 5. So it's very close. It actually has a different flavor. It's a little bit more nutty, maybe.
Sometimes I taste almond at the end.
Yes. And I like it. I like that. Some people say, well, they're so close. Do I need both? Well, it depends on how you use oils. I have 10 or 12 bottles open at one time in my house. So I like different flavors. And both of these are meaningful. Another thing you told me about that was exciting for this year is that you have built your own mill finally, and you don't have to have somebody crush your olives.
Yes, this is the most wonderful news. Exactly. We can mill our olives anytime we want immediately. They come right from the olive grove. They arrive and we're ready, and they get milled, and we can adjust a little bit how bitterness and pungency. And it's liberating. I love it. You're also 100% sure that they're all your olives, because sometimes when you bring them to the mills, there's a line of people and they don't know where yours start, where others start.
Right.
Also, seeing as we're organic, that was a problem for the mills because they have to clean everything, and it was all complicated. And so I'm so happy with our wonderful state-of-the-art mill that it makes such a difference. But
it's certainly at harvest to go in there and hear the machines running and see the oil and smell the aromas. It's life-changing for people that haven't been there. I write about it in my book. It's a pilgrimage. You have it in your backyard. I have to come from America to Europe to feel it. And I'm going in November to Spain. I will be in Italy in February, but I'm going to November for the harvest. It's a little bit later, but that's when I can get there. But you may be able to go right out in your back of your house, wherever the mill is, and smell it anytime during the harvest. And it's beautiful.
It's only for us, and so it's wonderful. Completely.
I like to take a glass, and as it's coming out of the decanter, just grab a cup of it, unfiltered Novello, and there is nothing like it. It's not like a Novello that the people put on their bottle here. It's the smoke and mirrors. That's not a real Novello. A Novello is right out of the machine, fresh, has no shelf life. You use it right away.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what that's going to mean is more medals. And you've won a bunch of medals this year. And between having your own mill, controlling your production, having the music, and being certified organic, I think there's even more medals in your future. You're going to continue to participate and submit this year?
Well, to tell you the very truth, we entered the competitions. We entered New York, Tokyo, Amsterdam, because I'm from Holland, really. We did those 3, and then we did a couple in Italy. That was before reading your book. And you're right, it didn't it didn't translate into huge sales or anything like that, but we got gold awards in all of them. And in the end, I'm happy that expert panel tasters, professional tasters have, appreciated our oil. So it's nice to tell.
And you're right. In the book, the book is written for consumers, and consumers unfortunately see people put metals on their bottles that aren't the same oil that they're consuming. You see, that is the problem. For a manufacturer, for you to send your bottle to a competition, it's 100% authentic. You're having professional tasters like me taste your oil and award you a medal if it's deserved. But that product may never make it to the shelves. And if it does, it could be a year from now. And that experience that medal earned is different than the experience of you sending a fresh harvest that's been in your temperature cellar, overnighted to the competition. That's the difference. Is, as I relate in the book, a Michelin star, which they just gave this weekend, is for a restaurant. You can go to the restaurant, it's a Michelin restaurant, and you get the Michelin experience. And olive oil, like Il Vulcino, wins a gold medal or best of show medal, and it's because of the product that they sent to the competition. But then 6 months, 8 months later, this product is bought online somewhere. It's not the same oil. It's traveled over the seas. It's been in who knows what temperature. And that is what I'm confused about when I've been a judge and in the industry is I taste oils that have these metals, and I said, this is not a medal winning oil. Well, it's not the same oil that was submitted a year ago.
Yeah. No,
I think it's perfectly fine for you to do it, and just realize that it means more to you than it probably means to the consumer. And that's important, what it means to you.
Yeah, well, it also really, it means that they recognize the good quality, and our bottles are the same bottles. I mean, I know some people put away for competitions, they put away a little, and then the rest, okay, who cares? But that's not our case.
Well, this oil is spectacular. Forget about a medal. And as I talk about in my book, as you read, it's up to the consumer. They're the judge at home. If you buy this bottle, and it's not going to be inexpensive, and it shouldn't be, and you taste it like I just did, and it's a beautiful experience, it doesn't matter what the medal it won. It matters that it's wonderful to you. That's what matters.
Yeah, I know. And that's what's so important, the work that you're doing, David.
Thank you.
Explaining to people, educating people, because it's all there.
Yeah.
And once you've tasted a good oil, you cannot go back.
You can. That is very important for people to remember. When you finally get into a good extra virgin olive oil, if you haven't gotten there yet, get into it. And once you get into it, you will not go back. Because if you do, you're betraying the honesty that you know is there, which is you've tried an excellent product, costs a couple dollars more, it's worth it. Why would you go back to some garbage supermarket brand that has no soul, has no efficacy, and it's probably rancid, as Eugenie just said? Most supermarket olive oils are rancid. Why would you use that? Why would you go back?
It ruins your food. Once we went to a beautiful buffet at some very well-off people's house. It was outside. It was all absolutely gorgeous. And evidently they'd put the final drizzle of the oil that had probably been in the house for a long time, and it wrecked the entire buffet. It was just inedible. It was it wrecks your food.
Very hard to hear. Very hard to hear, especially when maybe some animals were sacrificed for the dinner, and the farmers had to pick the vegetables, and then the chefs had to cook everything. There's a lot of sweat equity and work put into making food, and then to wreck it with rancid olive oil, it's completely avoidable.
It was completely wrecked, and it was so well done, and everything was great.
And I want to make sure people know, when you go to Italy, and if you ever want to visit beautiful estates like Vulcino, you got to remember, when you're eating in Rome, they're not going to have great olive oil in those restaurants in Rome. Okay, they're sitting out on the tables. They know that you're a tourist, you're a sucker, you don't know what you're eating, and the oil is going to be terrible. So don't judge a big city like Rome and going to the restaurants and the pizzerias as expecting that oil to be great. You have to seek it out. It's not going to be sitting in a trattoria in, Capo di Fiori. It's going to be terrible. You're going to have to look for estates like Il Vulcino.
In fact, my husband and I and all of us, we produced tiny little bottles like this.
To travel?
Okay. Yep. But we live here and we live in Rome as well. We always have these in our pocket or in our
Absolutely.
backpack. In fact, they're called Vulcino pocket because you keep it in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever restaurant you go to, even expensive ones, if the oil isn't good, and it very often isn't, we're saved.
Well, I will happily buy boxes of those from you and carry them myself because it's hard to find single serves of that quality. A couple of our olive oil MDR champions like you have single serves, but those are spectacular. These are spectacular, and I am a big fan of a robust Italian.
Yeah, they're the exact size of our.
The pockets.
Sorry, my husband.
Little pocket.
No, my husband is. We're milling the olives at this very moment. I think he wants me to show the color. This just came from.
Oh my God! Oh, don't do it to me! No, I want that. Oh my God! Look at that color. Look at that emerald green.
I know, it's amazing.
It is the most beautiful thing. Look, I can smell it from here. You're making me crazy. Oh my God. Thank you for that. I mean, just seeing it, and I know what you're smelling. It's got to be the most beautiful thing in the world.
It is. It's absolutely wonderful. No, the color is so beautiful. No, I'm
when,
so
when I
happy
would
with
visit some of my producers in Tuscany, they would take the bread, the salt-free bread, and put it into the wood fire and toast it. And then bring it out, and we drizzle that and maybe a little pinch of kosher salt on it. And it's like the most heavenly thing you can eat. I don't know how to, you just have to do it.
It's heaven. It is.
Thank you. Thank him for bringing that in for me, and thank you for frustrating me beyond belief that I can't have it.
Thank my husband.
And so the other exciting thing is that you've doubled your groves. So does that mean you've bought more land or planted more trees, or how did you double?
Oh no, planted more trees? No, all our trees are old trees.
They're old trees.
So, plus our variety Caninese it's a very slow grower. It's slow. So I mean, if we planted trees now, I don't know, we'd be 80 years old or something. No, it's not that slow. But we bought the land around our olive grove. So we've enlarged our olive grove. It's a very special place. I hope you come and visit us one day. You'll see.
How far are you from Rome?
100 kilometers north, and then you go in about 12 kilometers. You go north along the coast, and then you go inland for about 12 kilometers, and we're there. So it's if there's no traffic, it's an hour.
Okay, that's not bad. I have to go to Naples for my now annual school in February, and I need to come in probably Rome to go to Naples. So I'm going to see if I can stay in Rome for a couple of days.
I'll come and get Naples.
I would love to see it finally. I know it's not harvest, but I can still see the trees, and it's just before flowering, but you probably have pruned already in February, right? You prune the trees?
We will be in the process of, I guess. We have a lot of trees now, so some will already be pruned, some will be being pruned.
I will let you know. I haven't booked a ticket, but I know when I need to be in Naples, and I want to do Rome first, so I will make sure I send you. Even though your product's not available in the US today, and I did have it on my website last year, and I did sell out, which was a great experience, but it was slow. And I don't know why it's slow, because your oil is fantastic, and when I say it's fantastic, it is fantastic. I haven't given up on trying to help you get into the market. You and I have been close I'm going to continue sending you ideas. But if you're watching this in the States and you want her oil, you can always email me and I will put you together with Eugenie and she'll find a way. Her website is ilvucino.com.
And they can also buy it from there.
Yeah.
We'll send it from Italy in that case until we have this deposit or whatever we're going to get.
Yes.
At that point, it'll be quicker.
And I think what people don't understand is you can buy a case of oil from Eugenie and her family, and it's not going to go bad. Okay, this oil is high polyphenolic oil in the perfect package. And if she flies it to you like she did to me, I think well-packaged DHL, whatever came, that oil can sit in your cupboard for the whole year. In fact, these bottles that were produced last year are March of 2023. So we still have, 6 months on these bottles unopened. Once you open them, as I say in my book, really 90 days, you want to use that oil because the oil just becomes, flat. It starts to change once you put more air inside of it. But I wouldn't buy, if I were you in the States and you wanted the oil, I would buy a case or a mixed case, 3 of each of the SKUs or some of the small bottles, but have it in your cupboard, give it as gifts, use it for the holidays. Don't buy 1 bottle and go to the trouble of her shipping and cost of shipping 1 bottle. It's better to get 6 or more and have them and use them. On my website for my oil from Spain, I have them as singles, 3 packs and 6 packs. And I sell more 6 packs than I do singles because people realize if they're going to buy it, I'm going to give it as a gift. And I discount it. My price goes down as you buy more because it's 1 box versus 6 boxes, let's say. But I'm going to buy your oil from this harvest. So when you have the new harvest ready, let me know. I'm going to buy many for me and for gifts. So let me know. And if it can get here by Christmas, I'm going to give them as Christmas gifts.
Oh, fantastic.
I would love
it is a wonderful gift. It's a wonderful gift.
So anything new before we wrap up for 2023? I know you'll have the music. You're now going to be tending to the more groves.
Yes.
Look, it's already enough. You've done a lot for a year, but really, I think getting more sales and getting more visibility is what you're hoping for the next year.
I would love to sell in the United States because I grew up there and I'm very fond of the United States. And I also realized that a lot of people were like me. They don't know what good olive oil means. And so I would be so pleased to bring my good, delicious oil so that people realize that it's not what I thought it was when I was living in the United States. I would love to sell it. We're selling a bit in Europe. We're selling in Holland, France, bits and pieces here and there. It's they buy online, so that's
it will happen. You don't have to be a big supermarket brand or selling hundreds of containers. You don't have the production for that. But if consumers really want a very special bottle that comes from a special place, one place that the trees are tended by you and your family, and now you're crushing your product and storing it, and the love that goes into it. Extra virgin olive oil isn't just a food. We don't just consume it like bread. It's a luxury. It's a decadence. It makes everything better. It makes food better. It makes you feel better. It makes you healthier. I can't explain it, but I'm now in my 18th year of doing this, and I'm busy. I could be doing a lot of things, but this to me is one of the most important things I can do with what's left of my useful career is to make sure that producers like Eugenie and her family at Il Vulcino, their oil is consumed, enjoyed, revered, and that she can leave a legacy to the next generation that's going to take care of the business and continue on her and her husband's passion for such high quality product.
Thank you, David. Thank you.
It is my pleasure. It's the pleasure of the MDR to give you a platform here, and we thank you for your support that you've given to us. And you don't go unnoticed. Every event that I go to, you're there, and I present your product. You were at my book signing, and my book launch, and we had Gail Simmons from Top Chef tasted your oil, and she's one of the top Foodies in America. We had all media. So you're there. It's just like, you know, chipping away, helping people understand that there's quality. So ilvucino.com to reach out to you, evoguy.com to reach out to me, mdrproject.com to get to the MDR, and you can learn about the Evo library, and there's links in there to the Il Vulcino site as well. I want to thank you, Eugenie, and your family for producing arguably one of the best oils I've ever put in my mouth. And I am very critical, very critical.
Thank you.
I'm critical of my own oil sometimes. So what you're making is absolutely beautiful, and thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you for doing what you do, David. We need you. We need people.
I'm here, and look for those emails from me. Look for an order from me, and everyone, please go and support Il Vulcino. It'll be the best decision you've ever made. Give it for Christmas this year, and let me know how it was. You know, follow up with me, follow up with Eugenie. Let us know, how did the oil arrive? Did you enjoy it? What did you use it on? We can post those on our social media. You know, we can be a connected world through olive oil, through premium extra virgin olive oil.
I wish. We're also, by the way, preparing Christmas gifts and gift packages. We're preparing them at the moment, but we will have them soon, and there should be very nice gifts to give.
Yes.
They'll be on our website soon.
Okay, well, we'll look for those. And you let me know when that new harvest is ready. I'm going to buy it in bulk from you and then package it up as gifts. I have sold out of my oil this year. My book sold out of my oil. So I'm waiting on the new harvest as well. But I need some good oils to give as gifts this year.
Okay. Thank you, David.
Wonderful to see you. Thank you for the bottles. Thank you for the time. Thank you for investing your life into this product that is misunderstood. And everyone, please go out and get my book. I don't make any money from this. I don't care about making money. I do care about celebrating the industry and celebrating producers like Eugenie and Il Vulcino. That is a recommended brand in here. And you will only understand how to buy and evaluate and use really extra virgin olive oil if you educate yourself. It's not just going to pop into your head. There's something you've got to learn. And this is a simple one. Once you learn it, you will never forget it. You'll never go back to that trashy supermarket olive oil again.
Exactly.
Well, it's wonderful. Stay tuned. We'll have a couple, 2 or 3 more for this year to wrap up our MDR 2022 Evo Library Champions. And until our next edition, thank you for joining me and Eugenie from Il Vulcino.
Okay.
Be well, my dear. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao. Ciao.